Hey guys, welcome back.
What's up?
We are Paranormal Debates, and I am Mimi.
And I'm Fernando.
And as you guys may know, probably by now, this is a reaction channel. So we're going to be reacting to the scariest ghost stories told by comedians. So
it's on the channel of Wrld, I believe. I need to check on that. I'll probably edit it. I don't know.
But yeah, so this is gonna be an interesting one, because we're big fans of comedy too.
Koreans sound like Asian ghosts. My best friend growing up was Korean. I remember the first time I went to his house, his dad yelled from upstairs. I thought the fucking house was haunted.
We love watching comedians and
yeah,
podcasts.
We've heard some of these stories, and then we know that some are like pretty intense. So, hey, it's a storytelling episode. Obviously, I don't know if there's gonna be any like visual evidence, but let's try it out.
It'll still be interesting either way.
Yeah, we'll try it out. All right. Well, we got our spooky juice ready.
Got our spooky juice
in here.
Yeah, Suki's missing again.
She's out there being
bruh.
You know.
Maybe, well, Jinx is over here off camera. Maybe she'll decide to join us. I don't know. It looks like she's fell asleep.
Alright, well, let's get this started.
What's the deal with airplane peanuts?
From haunted comedy clubs,
Like the Comedy Store's haunted, right? But Mitzi
I
would
didn't know that.
to sleep paralysis demons,
The ghosts have been acting up lately.
these are the spookiest ghost stories told by comedians. Starting off with the story of Gus the Ghost.
Well, so in the 50s, the Comedy Store used to be a club called Zero, and it used
Bobby's
to be the
fucking
hottest club in Hollywood.
belly
run by the
button.
mob. And during the days, people would get killed in where the main room is. You've been to the Comedy
Yeah.
Store, right? So they used to be the showroom, and there's these. If you look up on the ceiling, there's these little openings up above where people would snipe. You know what I mean? People.
Wow.
So I guess a guy named Gus died there. One time when Carl LeBeau and Sam Kinison moved to LA from Houston, they snuck in the store to sleep because they were poor, right?
Right.
And they slept on the main room stage. And Carl LeBeau, he passed a couple of months ago, God bless him.
I know. All right.
And LeBeau tells a story where he wakes up and he sees Sam Kinison being levitated by his foot, and he's like 3 feet off the fucking.
But Kinnison's asleep still.
Yeah, right. But here's something that I witnessed. There's a comic by the name of Pete. That's his real name. I don't want to say his last name. And he was in the belly room. He performed. Have you been in the green room in the belly room?
Yes.
Okay. So from the showroom to the green room, there's a little hallway you walk through.
Yep.
Right. This dude's like my height, right? If you look at the ceiling, it's pretty high. It's probably this high, the way the ceiling is. Pete has a good set in the belly room, walks down the hallway, and then his head hits the ceiling. He gets thrown up in the ceiling. He breaks his
That's
spine.
crazy.
What?
Yeah, he's now has to go through surgery for years. In fact, he sued the store and he got some sort of compensation. That's what I've never seen this guy before after this event.
Wow.
But apparently, you know what I mean? I was there downstairs, but apparently people that witnessed it, right, saw him just being thrown up there like Gus. It's Gus. In fact, me and Johnny Sanchez, who's a comedian, back in 2002, maybe 2001, we were in the parking lot of the store and we saw Gus for the first time. We both saw him. We were in the parking lot. We had dropped one of my cars off to go do a gig in Bakersfield. And when we drove back, it's 4 in the morning. I'm getting my car. We're saying goodbye, whatever, right? And we both look at the window up above on the parking lot, and we see a white face, a top hat, 2 hands on the window looking down on us like this, right? And Johnny and I go, ah, like that, right? And then we look at each other, we look up, and he's gone.
Whoa.
Shit.
That's the first time I saw Gus.
Oh my God.
So I don't. If you notice, I don't stay there past midnight.
It's crazy, man. Like even the ghosts are passed at the Comedy Store. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not past.
All All right, we'll stop it there.
That was one of our favorite comedians, Bobby Lee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I genuinely believe that he's telling the truth, because he's told this story multiple times and it's never changed. It's always been the same. So, and that's already a telltale sign that if the story doesn't change every time it's been told, then it must be true. So I believe it's true, and for me, that's a 5+, because imagine witnessing that, just seeing somebody getting lifted off and then thrown into the air, and then, you know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
the worst part,
that's
like,
crazy.
they're breaking their back, like
Breaking his back.
and
That's why, like, when people say, like, oh, don't fear ghosts and demons, they can't do anything to you.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
But it's like, I mean, that's kind of them doing something to you and injuring you for life.
I mean,
you know?
yes, keep that mentality, because when you don't, I feel like that's when you're more vulnerable. But I mean, I don't know what it was. I don't know what the difference is to this, to like just a reoccurring, I guess, because you just see them. But I mean, I don't know. It's crazy though.
Yeah. And what about you?
Yeah, no, that's insane. Like that's basically like the stories you usually hear, you know, like the intense ones, you know, when it's like compared, like, because that could almost be compared to like crazy stories that have made it big, you know, like that they've made movies off, like based pretty much, you know, off of those stories. And I don't know, like, I mean, I feel like there's some dark stories that he tells that he's seen that could be the cause of like what is so amped up here, you know, like, but yeah, like it's intense, like breaking your back, you know, even just getting lifted off by your leg, because usually people would just feel a touch, but a full-on grab.
Whoa, that's full grab.
You know, like like levitating you, like,
Oh, dude, hell no.
and it's so crazy that like he didn't even know he was still asleep. I don't know if he's like a deep sleeper, but I don't know, like, doesn't like the feeling of falling always wakes you up? Like, is it so smooth? You know?
Well, that's the thing. Like, he didn't really specify if he woke up right away
No,
or whatever.
he was still asleep.
Oh, he was still asleep?
But I don't know so I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if he woke him up, like he let him down. It's like, how does that go unnoticed, you know? But anyways, let's continue to the next one.
That was the first time. When was the second time?
I was playing the piano at 4 a.m, so it's completely dark, and I'm playing my own improvised little, you know, Korean lullaby. Dang ding, dang ding, dang ding dong. And I look to my right, and I see a yellow suit with a top hat, but from far away. You know where the entrance is? I see it coming toward me. I run out that back door, you know, to the hallway.
Yeah.
And I come back in, it's gone. And that I believe that to be my second encounter with Gus.
All right, well, we'll just talk about that one real quick then. Yeah, it's crazy how, like, even, like, I don't know, like, I wonder how it is, like, the difference of, like, how he said he was able to see so much detail, you know, like, oh, it was a yellow suit.
Somebody stop me!
Stuff like that, you know, like, compared to, like, oh, you was very transparent, you couldn't really see, you know. Like, it's crazy how, like, I wonder what, like, makes a ghost, like, have more strength or like not, you know.
Yeah. No, I know, like, sometimes, like, when ghosts manifest, sometimes they, like I said, they could manifest in different forms. Sometimes they could manifest in full form. Sometimes they could manifest in, like, just their legs or just their feet or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes, you know, maybe that time he decided to manifest his full self to Bobby for whatever reason. There's obviously something about Bobby that he was attracted to, because he just kept trying to show himself, you know?
Yeah.
We could kind of just connect that to the one before, since it was still kind of Bobby's story. That, of course, we think that he's being legit. He's being real about it. and yeah, that's a 5.
Okay.
If you hadn't had one ghost experience, I don't think you're human.
I've never had one. I've never had a ghost.
You've never had one. You've had one.
I mean, seen a ghost?
Yeah, a little.
No, not see a ghost. I mean, a ghost. How about an? I don't even know the right wording, but like an experience with an apparition, a ghost, a supernatural, the unknown. Like you can't explain it.
Like
right?
what's one that you've had?
My buddy Tyler, growing up, I used to sleep over at his house all the time because we would get.
Smoking what was that? No, what is Andrew? It's time to be honest at 2021.
No, we just play mini flutes.
Oh, mini flutes. Okay.
So we play mini flutes all night, and no, but his house, the people that his mother bought the house from, they died in the home. This old couple. And
Natural causes in the home.
Natural causes.
Wasn't a murder suicide.
Well, they killed each other.
At 98 years old. Imagine that. 98 years old.
Murder suicide.
You're pulling out a murder suicide.
Bang bang. She's like, you'll never make it to 100. You won't either. Bang bang.
Boom.
No, so what happened was I used to sleep in the basement all the time, and upstairs was the kitchen had 2 galley doors. You know, galley doors that hide inside of the walls. Galley doors, you couldn't close them quietly if you tried. Everyone that has one in their home knows, or you ever grew up with one, they're like, they're so loud.
Right.
So I'm sleeping downstairs, and I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning, and the house always did have this like very ominous vibe. It was like tucked into the woods. It just always felt just very dark and shady, and you can't really see anybody around you. And so I'm tossing and turning, and I can't go to sleep, and I hear the galley door to the kitchen. So I think, oh, Ty's mom must be awake like me, like maybe she's going to get a late night snack. And I was like, I'll get some food because I'm up and I'm hungry and I couldn't sleep. So I walk upstairs and the doors are all closed. And I was like, it was seconds. That's impossible.
Right.
Like it literally couldn't have happened. There's just no way. So I go in there and I'm like, whatever. I get in the kitchen, I grab like a candy bar. I go back downstairs, I'm eating, I hear it again. And it's distinct. You know it when you know what it is. It's not like it could have been something. I know what that sound is. I have one in my house now. I hear it again, and I immediately put the candy bar down, and I'm like, Mom? Because I would call his mom, Mom. I was like, Mom. Nothing, Mom. I walk upstairs again, and the doors are all still closed. And I swear to God on my life, I was freezing cold.
Right.
I felt ice cold. And I'm sure that's just anxiety. It's all in my mind.
But freezing cold.
Oh, dude, I was freezing. It was freezing cold. And I was like,
give you a blanket.
I wanted someone to wrap me up. But I swear to God, it felt just so ominous that it was like someone was toying with me. It couldn't have been his mother because her room, to get back to her room, she could have never made it there all the way down the back hallway without me seeing her because I walked right upstairs afterwards. So I was freezing cold, and then I went downstairs, and the rest of the night I just stared at the stairwell, and all I was waiting for was to see something or feel something, but I just couldn't sleep. My brain was just staring at this ominous. It just felt so like something was happening, but I just couldn't go back up there then.
So do you believe that it was...
Like I didn't see anything, but the feeling was disgusting.
It's actually my first time hearing that story from...
Yeah, mine too, actually.
From Santino, so that's another one of our favorite comedians, but that's horrifying too. I mean, because I slept over at friends' houses. Well, not friends' houses, but my cousin's house that was known for kind of being haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Or my sister's house, like there was stuff there too. So like every time you sleep at someone else's house that you know there's something there, it's always a different vibe.
Yeah.
Versus like when it's like your own house, you know, you're like, oh, you already know the creaks and the...
It's just like a little bit more on edge.
Yeah, it's a little bit more on edge, and then it's already you're in a strange place that you know you're not familiar with. So like, it's just kind of adds on to it, you know.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
Yeah, and then like you don't want to go bother your friend and be like, hey, so dude, some stuff is happening. Yeah, shut up, just ignore it, just leave me alone.
Just the feeling of like getting abandoned like that, like shut up, what are you talking about? You know.
Yeah. Ugh. To me, that would be scary, and like and honestly, I don't think he's bullshitting it at all. I think he's being legit about it too.
Well, he brought it up too, like, you know, he was like, hey, what's your story?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, because I've had like, it's crazy how even like, you know, like when something's happening.
Yeah.
When it's like when something is happening, you know, like if you're aware of it, you're like, yeah, that's.
Or you could kind of like sense when something is gonna happen because you just feel like that sense, that ominous feeling, that feeling of being watched. You know, you just kind of have like that, you know, that shiver down your spine, that shiver down your damn spine. You know what I mean? Like, you know. But
yeah, no, it's. I feel like I'm trying to think if I ever remember having like a sleepover like story, but I don't think so. Like, I think it's always been at my house, or I guess at my grandma's. Like, I remember both of my grandmas, both their houses. Like, the one on my mom's side, there was a little girl that followed us to our house once, and then on the other side, my dad's side, their house was just weird. I was like, I hated being there, like, by myself. And sometimes, like, I would have to stay. They would drop me off in the morning, like, super early, like 3, 4 in the morning, and then I'll wake up to school, and then my grandma would take us to school. And then just getting there, walking to the bedroom, even being in the bedroom, I was just like, ugh.
You just had that feeling.
Yeah, I always felt gross.
Yeah, because I feel like it's weird because even though I've visited or spent the night at houses that were haunted, like my brother's house or my cousin's or whatever, I never really had anything intense happen. But just because you know that there's stuff that has happened there, you know that there's paranormal stuff there, you just have that ominous feeling regardless.
Yeah, because that's what my mom was too. Like, I try to bring up the haunted house when we lived. Like, I think we lived up here for like 2 years in Tucson, and like the house was like really haunted, and everyone else was getting affected except her, supposedly. And I even pressed her. I was like, just let me know. Like, really nothing? She's like, I don't know. I know. She's like, all I know is that you guys were being affected, but I wasn't. But like, I knew because you guys would constantly complain. Like, you, your sister, your dad, and then my tia, when my tia would stay with us. Like, I'll tell those stories at least, you know, like, and I'll go back to the little girl one. Like, the little girl, I don't know. It's just a little girl at my grandma's. And then all I know is that different family members have seen her, you know, in the bathroom and in different rooms. She always just roams around the house. But there's one time, I remember we stayed at my grandma's, and a cousin stayed there too. And then she went with us to our house, like, the next night. So it was during the weekend. But I think my sister mentioned, like, she felt weird, like, that first night at my grandma's. Like, she felt like that ominous feeling, and then eventually, like, nothing happened. But she's just like, okay, what the hell? And then the next day, they were sleeping in the living room, and I was in my room, and she woke up screaming. Like, she said, like, that she felt like someone, like, grab her. Like, I think she said she felt like someone touched her hand. And then she's like, she woke up and saw her, and then, like, she just grabbed her wrist hard, and she's like, ah, and started screaming, and then, like, she was gone.
The little girl ghost?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And, like, I got up and I was like, what happened? And then she's like, this the little girl that everyone, like, that everyone talked about. I saw her, like, she grabbed my hand, like, she was like, you can tell she was like, holding, like, she grabbed my, like, my wrist.
Like, yeah.
So I was just like, oh, I remember she thought, like, I didn't believe her, but I was like, no, I was like, of course, like, I've had so much crap, you know.
Yeah.
And then, well, that other house, like, this is like one of the scariest stories. Not the scariest, like, crazy one I have, but, like, one of them was so we lived in this house where this old lady died. I think she was murdered. I don't know. I was very young, and I didn't really get all the details completely, but I confirmed it while you were there, you know. And it kind of ties to, like, the Mexican lore of the Llorona, like, on its own. So, you know, my most traumatic night that I ever had, like, with the ghost was, like, I was sleeping, and, like, we had those square fans, and it was going, you know, like, and it fell. And I was like, God, man, what the hell? So I picked it up, and it was on carpet, so I was just like, I mean, at first I was like, whatever, it fell. And then I laid down, and then, like, a minute later, it fell down. And it fell down kind of hard, and I was like, what the hell, dude? So I picked it up, and I was like, I stood there looking at it. I was like, is it gonna fall or not? And it didn't. I was like, all right then. and then I was gonna turn around to go lay down again, and then it just like got smacked across the room.
Bruh.
I don't know what. And then
Oh,
I just
God.
remember screaming like,
Ooh, it's scary.
I was like, "Mom, Dad!" I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, and they're like, "Shut up!" And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I didn't want to leave the room. I was like too scared. Like I
Aw.
was just like I think I was kneeling on my bed because I was like ready to gun down the covers, you know.
Wait, how old were you at this time?
I don't even know. I think it was like this was like kinder, first grade.
So probably like 5, 4.
Yeah, around there. But I remember just because it was so traumatic. I just remember that. And I kept yelling, and they're like, "Just shut up!" Like I don't know what the hell. I still kind of am like, "What the fuck, parents?" You know? I don't know. They were having adult night or something. You know, I don't know. But yeah, that was like my most traumatic that I remember. Like I've had like other encounters I'll probably talk to about later, but that one's just like it's like carved into my memory. Cause and then I've all had other ones too where, I guess my dad went out and he stayed up later than he was supposed to, so he thought, oh, I'm gonna fall asleep in the living room so he won't get yelled at or whatever, or probably just get yelled at in the morning. I don't know. But my mom was pissed, so she made me sleep in her bed with her, so that basically, no matter what, he would need to wake me up, and probably would end up waking her up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my dad said that he went to the living room, and he's had some stuff happen too, but like obviously he wasn't in that mindset of thinking about it. He's like, oh, he went out, and he's just like, all right, I'm tired, I'm gonna go pass out. And he's laying on the couch, and he just felt that ominous feeling, and he's just like, ugh. And then he said that it just kept getting nastier and nastier and nastier, and he knew after a while. He's like, oh, damn it. So I don't know if he said he saw it, like someone standing there, or he just knew, but he's just like he already knew. He got up, he just walked straight to the room. He went down the hallway and opened the door to our room, didn't even look back. But then as he opened the door, it woke me up, and I was like, hey, Dad, what are you doing? And he's like, hey, I'm just getting ready for bed, go back to bed. And then I was like, who's that behind you? And he's just like,
bruh.
He said that his face was just like, and then, but he already knew, so he's like, no, it's no one. He's like, it's your deal, just go to sleep. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. 'Cause I was still like, I don't even remember that, but he said, but I think I remember this other time too, where like he came from work, like midday, like sun still out and everything, and then the same thing happened, and I think he just like, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I remember your dad saying that that he was just like, holy fuck, like, because he knew that, yeah, that you basically confirmed that what he was feeling,
Yeah,
there was actually something there.
That's crazy. Like, he just
and then for
feels
you,
everything.
yeah, and then imagine, dude, like feeling something already there, like already feeling the ominous feeling like the chills down your spine, and then going to your room and your kid telling you, oh, hey, Dad, by the way, there's something behind you.
Yeah.
But like, shut the fuck up.
I'll
be like,
go to sleep.
Go to sleep. You
For
know,
your
like,
wallet.
bro, like that, oh my god, that would
Yeah.
be scary.
And then to like further confirm, like one of my aunts, she was like the youngest aunt I have basically, and I think they were like starting up their company and stuff, and they needed a place to move up to get started, you know, like, and they were just I think they were just moving up, so they were staying with us. Just I don't know, like I don't remember the exact story. It's okay. But all I know is that basically that like how did it go? That like they felt stuff, and they remember seeing like some stuff, but the big story was that it was, I think they said they were sleeping. So basically, they said they were laying down, and my aunt, like I guess the bed was against the window. I think either the foot or the head side of the bed, but I think they were sleeping to where like their head was behind the window. I mean, in front of the window, so it was back here. And then she said my uncle was like, I guess, facing away from her. And she said that she just woke up because she kept hearing the dogs barking. And she said, I think she said it was like around close to 3 or so. And she kept hearing the dogs bark. She's like, what the hell? And she was trying to ignore them. She's like, freaking dogs, you know, whatever. But then she noticed, because it was a big yard, but she heard them like far. And then she said, like, in her mind, she like heard the barks getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And she's like, what the hell? Like, these assholes are barking right at the window. And then she said, I think she said she heard like we call the Llorona, but she heard like a woman started crying, like right there. She like you could just hear her right here, and the dogs are barking at her, and like I remember she just like froze, and all she can do is stare at the clock. That's what she said she remembered. She's like, all I remember was just seeing the red lights of the clock, and I could not turn around. She's like, I was way too scared.
I don't blame her.
And she said that, I don't know, she like forcefully like went to sleep. But yeah, I think that was like pretty much all that she told us about. And they have other crazy stories, like with my cousin, their daughter, like I'm gonna talk about later on. Like those are getting more intense.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, we went off on a little rant.
Yeah, a little
story
I guess,
time.
surprise story time.
Yeah, I mean, we have to eventually, start time because we have many stories.
Yeah, and I also have some I wanted to tell at the same time.
But for that, we'll do a dedicated actually episode.
Yeah, but I was gonna be like just like small little things that I had.
Yeah, I think with those, like we can probably tell like the here and there, but like the forestry one, like has to.
No, yeah, that's gonna be its own thing.
Yeah, and then the ones with my Nino and my aunt, those I'm gonna have to make another episode, just because it wasn't like that intense, and I'm just like, really, like it seems almost untrue, but I know them and they're not like people to be like, why?
Yeah, there's
Be
no reason for him
faking
to
it,
lie about it. And I remember your Thea telling us that story, and like, it was during Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was one of those times. I know we had went over to her house, and then she told us those stories, and like, there was no reason for her to be lying about it, dude. Like she was telling it, and you could see the fear, like as if she just experienced it last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's continue, because it's a video. All right, so this is the next.
What's your spooky tale?
Spooky tale? Dude, so last night, I wake up, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
No. That's the scariest hour.
Pretty scary, dude.
Isn't that the witching hour?
Yeah, dude. Witching hour, I'm up. Maya wakes up. Pretty standard stuff. So I go down, you do the thing where, like, sometimes they put themselves back to sleep, which is nice, because they do sometimes, you're like, yes. And then
What, you hear them cry, and then they pass
go
back
like,
out?
and they pass back out.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'm laying there, I'm playing the monitor, sitting there, like, laying, chilling.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you get like 2 minutes of quiet, you're like right on, and all of a sudden it's, you're like, fuck. So I go downstairs. It's spooky as hell. I go down, lay with her for a little bit, kind of fall asleep a little bit. She passes out, I go. And I'm building this all up because when I disrupt my sleep during the witching hour and go back to bed around like 4:30, it's sleep paralysis time. Almost every time.
Oh, man.
Dude, but I like it. I'm
What
sick
the
of
hell?
it, dude.
Yeah, but what type of sleep paralysis are we talking? Visions?
No, here's what happens to me. So I don't pull myself out of it. I know it's coming because when I'm laying there, it goes. I get these like, and like I can't explain it, but it doesn't. It's not like a brain shock or brain zap, but it's like It's just like sensation
Well,
that like goes.
yeah,
It'll happen.
I know
and then,
exactly
like,
what he's
a minute
talking
later,
about.
It'll happen again. It starts
Yeah.
going faster and faster, and eventually I enter the sleep paralysis tunnel where it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucked up. I used to get scared and I'd pop myself up out of that. Lately, I've been going into it.
Yes.
Let me tell you, that was a spooky experience.
Yeah, me too. I
So
started.
whenever I go into
There's
sleep,
spooky skeletons
Dude, so-
sending shivers down your spine.
yes, this is what happens. Whenever when you first go into the sleep paralysis, it's nothing but like the spookiest shit possible. I went into it and it was just like, and you see like the scary shit. And I was like, I can't breathe, and I'm just laying there, just like, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, thank God I woke up. I'm still dreaming.
What type
though.
of stuff did you see?
Just like I always see like scary figures.
Now this is in your room, correct? Or
This is eyes
in a
closed.
dream?
I'm completely. It's like my eyes are closed. I can't open my eyes. I can't move. Like scary face. Like you know those masks people put on. There's like a big scary.
Yeah.
It's like shit like that. Scary faces and like it's like weird figures. This is all with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And I have opened my eyes before and seen it in my room for a second. More so
Yeah.
like the shadow figures.
Shadow figures are the
Scary guys.
spookiest.
I see them in 3. I always have 3
that's a very common thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you know that was common?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
See
the
him in
one
3?
guy in the documentary sees 3.
Really?
Usually one guy's wearing like a top hat.
Yes, dude. And it's fucking big square
How
shoulders,
scary is
top
that?
hat, dude. So I'm
Isn't that
sitting there.
spooky that I knew that the guy in your dream wore a fucking hat?
That is fucked
Isn't
up.
that fucking scary?
That was the first time I like woke up and was in my room but hallucinating with sleep paralysis. That was the Hat Man. That was with his 2 fucking minions, dude.
He has 2 minions right on either side of him.
Yeah, man. It's so scary.
What the fuck is that?
Dude, I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It's got to be fucking.
But see, that's the thing is, so like if you want to talk about like it's some weird thing that's deep in every human that it's like we're all scared of snakes. This is what we think
Sure.
about. Why the fuck would it be wearing a hat? Hats are relatively new when it comes to human evolution in our brain.
Epigenetics. Yeah, probably epigenetics.
But like top hats are pretty new.
Yeah, dude.
That's not something our ancestors would have also thought of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's fucked up.
What the fuck is this thing, dude?
You're talking
We
about
gotta get to the
you're talking about
bottom
the
of this.
collective unconscious. These are the archetypes that are built into the base of the human psyche. So for some reason, dudes in top hats with two boys.
3
It's like-
bros coming
yeah,
right at you.
3 bros,
One
one
of them's
top
clearly
hat.
the boss.
2 without. It's so scary. So I'm laying there, dude. I go with it. I'm like, all right, cool. I pass like the scary spot, and this is when I get inception to where I'm like, oh, that was weird. Thank God I woke up.
Yeah.
But then what happens is I'm like, the thing rattles me so much that I lose my bearings. So I wake up and I'm walking around my room and I'm like, man, I can't use my feet that well. And I'm like, the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I've
and
had
like,
that too.
and now I'm in like a totally different place. And I don't realize I'm dreaming. I'm just walking around like a different house, and there's like 3 kids in a bed. And I was like, hey guys, and they were just completely different kids, and they were like, ah, and I was like, oh shit. And I start getting like super confused, like, where the fuck am I? And I'm walking around. It was that, and I'd wake up. Oh, thank God I'm awake. And I'd walk out of my room and back into some weird setting. I did this like 5 times last night. It was like 5 successive dreams. And then finally Brittany tapped me with her foot, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm in my room.
Well, you must have been.
Bro, I was fucked. I'm sorry. As you were, kids.
Who are these kids?
It's kind of cool though, because you finally come back, dude. It's like wake up, dream, and you get like really disoriented. And when you come back too, I had a glow all morning. I was just like, man, this is. You're so happy to be back.
In life.
You're happy to be back, dude, in this dimension.
You're seeing me right now after.
Oh, dude, hell no. I feel like things like that scare me.
Sleep
Like just to
paralysis.
keep waking up in dreams.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. I've had many sleep paralysis dreams. I don't know if I should even tell them right now because we've already told a lot of stories. But I mean, I could tell like one that really stood out to me. It was kind of embarrassing though, because it happened to me in class.
Oh yeah.
It happened to me in class, and it was during the Ames test. So after I finished the test, I put my head down to sleep because I was like tired. I was like fighting my sleep the whole time. So as soon as I finished my test, I put it to the side, and then I put my head down. And then it's funny that he mentioned the whole zapping, like the brain zap. It kind of goes zzzz, zzzz. And I kind of describe it too as like the exploding head syndrome, where just like your thoughts, like, or you're like you feel like you hear like a very loud buzzing in your ear, right?
Yeah.
So that's usually what I experience too before I have sleep paralysis. fit or whatever. And so I remember having that, and I woke up and I felt like I couldn't move, and I was like, great, because since I've already had it so much, I already knew that this was happening. But it was weird because like in my vision, I was seeing like a figure of Satan. It looked like Satan because I remember he had like
all the way up there, huh?
Yeah, he had like the horns and shit, you know.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing that, and that's when I had the sleep paralysis. I was like, fuck. And finally, when I came out of it, I just thought, like, you know, it was going to be whatever. But all my classmates around me were staring at me. And I was like, what the fuck? And then my friend Evelyn, she was behind me. And I looked at her, and I was like, dude, why is everybody looking at me? She was like, bro, she's like, you were snoring, like, very loud. And, like, you were breathing, like, very heavy. And I was like, what? And then a classmate of mine, he was like really funny, but like he was like basically mimicking how I was like snoring and stuff. He's like, yeah, you sounded like you were freaking, like you were possessed. And then like everyone already thought that I was like satanic because like I would wear all black and stuff, you know what I mean? So that basically just made everyone be like, oh yeah, our suspicions are confirmed, you know, she's with Satan, you know what I mean? And I'm like, no, I just had sleep paralysis, like it's not that deep, you know. But yeah, that was like probably the one that stood out to me the most. I've had many, but that was the one that was embarrassing because it happened in class. Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah, with me too. Like I remember, I've had many. But like how he was talking about, with time, I was able to like, because at first I would just freak out. I'd just be like, you know, like I didn't want anything to do with it. But then after a while, I'm just like, dude, like I had so many where I started to like try to turn around, and I'm just like, because I was already like trying to like push my heavy body to wake, you know, someone up if someone was sleeping next to me, or like start shaking. I don't even know,
just
trying to
wake
wake myself up. Yeah,
wake yourself out of it.
And then I just went to turning around and trying to see what the hell, you know. I was like, might as well. And I just remember just shaking like that, like trying to push so hard. And then eventually, with time, I started like trying to talk and like talk shit to it. I was just like, I'd just be like, fuck you, pretty much, you know, like, fuck. And I'd just be trembling. And after a while, I was able to do it more. Until now, to like, if it's not so intense, like so scary, I'm able to just move towards it. I just walk towards it. I'm like, and usually like I wake up after getting close enough, and then just kind of like.
Yeah, I've kind of, since I've had it so much too, like I've kind of picked up on like ways to get myself out of it, because then, you know, again, once I feel that zapping feeling, that weird zapping, and I could feel myself getting into like that deep sleep, I'll like wake myself out of it, and I'll like shake my like body like that, and I'll be like, okay. And then I'll just like sleep on a different position, because I notice if I sleep on my back, that's when it'll happen.
I know.
So I'll like switch positions or whatever. But and then, or I'll do the same thing. I'll try to just force my arms to move, or I'll start trying to force my fingers or force my toes or whatever.
Yeah.
And like one time we had a cat named Zero, and he was a friggin' psycho. Like any movement, he would start attacking.
We have to pay him $2 million just to keep him safe. So he wants to hush me, huh? If he's saying something like that, we should assume
attacking it. And Fernie was at work, so I was taking a nap, and I fell asleep. The worst time. I know, and it's always when you take a nap, it's like when you get the stupid sleep paralysis.
I'm trying to rest.
I know, and like you're resting too damn hard, I guess. I don't know. But I had fallen asleep and I had sleep paralysis, so I was like, damn it. And like I've also learned to not open my eyes, because then you'll see stuff. So I just learned to just keep my eyes closed. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna even bother. And then I just try to like control my breathing and not panic. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try moving my hands, and then Zero will start attacking my hands, and it'll force me to wake up. Yeah. and then I was moving my hand, and then I felt him, like I could feel like little bites, and then I finally woke up and I just see him attacking my hand. And I was like, thank you, Zero, you know. But yeah.
No, well, I'll probably say that one where at Andrews where
Oh, geez.
I don't know what it was, the area. I don't know. There was something because with Suki too, when we first got her, remember your back was against the wall.
Yeah.
And you were just laying there, I think on your phone, right? And I was at work, and then she just like her ears went back and she just went into like.
Yeah, because when
mode.
that happened, like we had our bed against the wall, and then I was facing. I was just like on my. I was just facing on my side like that, and then Suki was right here in front of me, and we had just gotten her. I think we've had her for not even like a few weeks at this point. And I was just laying on my side, and my back was facing against the room, and I was just on my phone and stuff, and then like I just see her, like I started petting her, and then I've always petted her, you know, like I get kind of like I get ansia or I don't know, like I get like
anxious,
cuteness. What is it called?
Yeah.
Cute
overload. Yeah.
Cute overload or whatever. Cuteness aggression. There you go.
Yeah.
I get cuteness aggression, and I start like petting her, like you know, like shaking her and stuff. I'm pretty sure a lot of cat owners know this already.
Yeah.
And then I started petting her stomach. I wasn't going like really hard. I was just kind of like rubbing her stomach like that. And then she just started like hissing and stuff. And then she just like got like on her legs. And then her ears went back and her eyes got huge. And
But you said she was looking behind you though, right?
Yeah. She started like going like,
yeah.
going like that. And like, I was like, Suki, what the hell's wrong with you? And then, but she was looking behind me. Like she would look at me and she would like look like that. Like she was like looking at something. And I was like, oh hell no. And then I like got up, and then she freaked out and she went under the bed. And literally like Fernie didn't come back home for like another maybe an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And she was under the bed the whole time. And when Fernie got home, I was like, I explained to him what happened, and he like went under the bed. He's like trying to lure her out and stuff, you know, and she finally came out. But that was the only time she did that. And like after that, I petted her the same way. I've like the cuteness aggression and everything, and she just takes it. She just like you know,
she loves it.
She loves it, you know. So that was the only time she did that, and that just confirms that there's probably something behind me.
Yeah, because around that same time, that's happened to me where I guess I got sleep paralysis. I don't know, and all I know is that I started shaking, and I don't really remember like the before, but when you try to wake me up, like I remember just getting up and like screaming like like, and I saw some lady like getting pulled out from me. Like I saw her like I don't know, I almost saw her like you know, like almost like Venom, like the skin is kind of like
yeah,
sticky,
getting pulled off, yeah.
and she's like, it was just getting pulled out into like, I don't even know, like a vortex, I guess. It was just like she just went into the abyss or something. I don't know. You know, I was just screaming out where you were like, oh, what the hell? And
yeah, because this dude, he gets a lot of like, I don't know if it's like night terrors or something, but he doesn't necessarily get sleep paralysis. He gets like, or maybe it is, but it's like on another level. You get it like super intense.
I'm so used to it at the same time, like it doesn't go that same route anymore. But that one was different. Now I don't think I've ever had where I wake up and I still see it.
Yeah, because I just remember him like just like he was trying to fight something. Like I just see him trying to fight something, and I was like babe, like trying to calm him down, and I was like rubbing his arm, trying to like wake him up, and I just felt him like stiff, like you were like stiff as a rock, you know. Insert perverted joke meme here or whatever, but he was like stiff as a rock, right? And then I was like, what the hell, you know? And then the thing that annoys me about this dude is that once he has something like that, once he's finally out of it and like he tells me, oh, I just had a nightmare, and he goes back to sleep, okay?
Dude, I have to play it off.
But I'm over here like sweating. I'm over here like with my heart pounding. Now I can't go back to sleep. Like I'm like, dude, are you freaking kidding me? You just woke me up out of a dead sleep, and then you're just like, oh, I just had a nightmare.
Wait a am I?
What was that?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just had a nightmare.
And
Well,
he
except
just
that
goes
night.
back to
That night,
sleep.
I think I took 2 or 3 hours of like I couldn't even close my eyes. Like I'll try and I had to check. I had to keep checking. I couldn't. And slowly, finally, like my adrenaline, everything slowly calmed down. I finally fell asleep. But
Yeah, and
dude,
even it's funny because even Suki knows now. Like there was a time too that he was having like a nightmare, and he was just like breathing really heavy. And then me and Suki wake up, and I just, cause Suki like sleeps right here between us, and then we both wake up, and then I just see Suki like touch Fernie's arm like that. She's just like, she's like, they're there, it's fine, it's alright, Dad, it's fine,
Are
you know.
having a nightmare?
Yeah, like yeah, it's funny.
All right, well, let's
Anyways,
continue. 'Cause
yeah.
Full coma.
So I'm in Buffalo, right? So I'm staying there. It's the first night, and I'm sleeping there. I'm trying to sleep. I can't sleep. I think I was going through a breakup at the time. I had a lot on my mind, but I was very keen to the idea that there was like a presence or something in the room. It just seemed like there was something in the room, and it was freaking me out, and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, this is ridiculous. You're being crazy. It's just because it's a huge room.
Sometimes you even talk to yourself out loud. I do that.
Yeah. You're in a huge room. You're going through an emotional time. There's no ghost in the room. And I'm just like, I feel like something's in here. But I've never felt like that. I don't scare very easily with stuff like that. You know, I'm a big horror fan. Like, I was like, this is weird. I've never experienced this before.
Something unsettling.
Exactly. So then the next day, I wake up and I go downstairs to the front desk, and I'm going to go out and get breakfast or whatever. And I'm looking at so they have the rack of the things in the hotel of like the pamphlets of
where to go.
And then I noticed
like explore the caves or go on a fan boat ride.
Yeah. And then I noticed they have pamphlets for the hotel history, and I pick one up, and the first thing I say is famously haunted.
The hotel you're in.
Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, man.
Wow.
That's weird.
So that is the extent. You felt something. You felt uneasy. You felt weird. You felt a presence. You chalked it up to whatever. Then the next day, you realized that you were in a haunted hotel.
Yeah.
Dude, on a separate note, he looks a lot like Steven.
But I guess like the
That's what he
TV
looks like.
light was bothering me.
But anyways,
I remember like I pulled the blanket up to like this much.
Well, you go, because I've been going.
It was only like a matter of a couple of minutes. I was wide awake, and
I mean,
I thought I heard someone say something. Now, here's nothing.
Going
My
back to like the
door
other one is
to my
crazy
bedroom was
how
closed.
even just a feeling.
I always
you know,
close
like,
my door.
Positive it was closed.
And like I
positive
said,
it was
you
closed.
know. And like when you know,
100% positive.
when something's
I close
going
every night.
on,
I also
you would
close
know.
the door
Yeah, you know.
whenever I
Your
take a
senses
shower,
are
and
just
I
kind
also
of-
lock
You
the
can
door
only
when I
play
take
it
a
off
shower
so much
because
you
of
could,
murderers and killers.
Sure, absolutely.
So
and that's
I'm not
like
sure
you're
what was
very
locked,
closed
but it was
off. Like
closed.
that's what I'm saying. Like
And
I
I
was
pulled
saying
it
that
up,
with
and
my
I thought
mom.
I heard
Like,
someone say something.
it's crazy how like some
Not the
people
TV.
are just closed off. And
As a
some
matter
people
of
just
fact,
get affected
I
by
had
it
low
so
energy.
much. Like
And
us,
it's weird how
crazy.
like your
It was
whole
very low, if not
family, but
muted.
then your mom was
I
just the
was
only one.
getting
Yeah,
ready for
and like
bed,
honestly,
so
I still need to
I
go
didn't shut
ask
it yet because
my
I
mom
still
the
like
family
the
for
glow.
Yeah, to see if
stories.
they've had stuff.
For me to fall
Just
asleep.
because I mostly have
So,
asked my dad's
I thought I
side.
heard someone.
So I wonder if it is
one person,
generational.
not like TV, like a person say
You know?
a couple.
I don't know.
sentences.
Yeah, it's
Or
crazy.
if it is
And I'm
like
just like,
hereditary to
I didn't think
experience
anything
stuff
of
like
it. I'm
that.
like maybe I
Because
didn't
like
TV all the way.
on
But
both
then I
sides of my
heard
family, there's a
the
lot of
door.
paranormal stuff.
Okay.
That's probably why
And
it's
I'm
just like.
And I've honestly just never asked
stories for
on my
days.
mom's
Yeah,
side.
just
Like,
like
Yeah.
I need
not
to
really
find out.
thinking. I didn't like hear
Just
it
for
like
more
slam
stories,
open.
you know, like.
I just heard movement.
Right.
Movement.
Because already with my dad,
then
like I need to go
felt-
talk to my Nino. Like
I just felt.
I want to sit him down.
like
And, like,
somebody
I don't
was
know
in
if
the
I'll
room.
put him in a
I
pod.
don't know
I
how to
might.
explain it.
I
just
might put my
felt
phone
it.
down and
I heard
record.
some words. I felt
And
movement.
it's obviously gonna be in
And I
Spanish.
felt like I maybe.
So I
felt-
don't know if
heard
I'm gonna go
someone
off of
walking, it was
that,
carpeted,
but
you just felt it.
subtitles,
And I
or
was-
just
I didn't
retell
think
the
anything
story.
of
I'm
it.
not
I didn't
sure
think
yet. We'll
certainly
see.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we'll also
be
see
attacked
if
by
what
a
he's
ghost or anything
comfortable
like
with
that,
too,
or
if he
anything.
even wants
No,
I
because
didn't
I'm
know what I
pretty.
would-
No,
and
what?
But then a moment later.
Oh yeah, I have to ask
I
him if he
really
wants.
did
I'm
feel
pretty sure he
like
don't
someone
care.
was standing
As
above
long
me.
as it's not,
I
I'm
don't know how
pretty
to
sure he
explain
doesn't
it.
want to be on video.
But my hand, this hand,
But
since it was under, was the only thing
yeah,
out
we'll
under
see.
the covers.
Right, let's just continue to the
And
next.
I'm telling you right now. So, someone then went like this, held my hand. Someone, something, I don't know what. I felt my hand get grabbed, and then it was being held, and then it got squeezed a little, and then squeezed a little more, and squeezed a little more.
No.
I swear to God, to the point where I felt this kind of pressure on my hand.
This, by the way, this is real pressure. Like he's like squeezing your hand.
That's what I felt on my hand. So, in my head,
You're paralyzed with fear. now.
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
Paralyzed. And this all happened, I would say, in a matter of 20 seconds. But in my head, the first thing I thought of, again, super fast, was, okay, someone's holding me now. So what I just thought I heard someone say something or walk in here is true. And they are standing above me,
same here.
and they're trying to see
Or
if
at
I'm
least a
sleeping
fan.
or not. I didn't think it was a ghost. I thought it was a home invasion.
Right.
And I said, I have to make sure that I'm awake right now and I'm not dreaming this. And I was. I was like, I am breathing. I'm looking around. I am awake right now.
This is real.
The pressure on my hand is getting even more. And I think what this person is testing me to see if I get up. And who knows, they might stab me, club me, shoot me, or I don't know what's going to happen. But what I did was not react to the squeezing. And I just made like I was still sleeping. And I said, what am I going to do right now? And it let go. And I said, the only chance I have right now, if this person is standing above me, is if I surprise them and jump up and be ready to fight for my life.
Right.
I'm thinking this under the covers.
Yeah.
And
in milliseconds.
In milliseconds. I said, I'm awake. I'm 100% awake. I know I'm awake. I know I'm being squeezed right now. I thought I heard something. I guess someone's standing above me. It's either I might get killed right now. That's what I thought. And I just was, fight or flight thing. And I just was like, I had to count to 3 right now. And I'm going to jump up and fight for my life.
Right.
And I even had the idea to get into the closet because I had a little Yankee bat in the closet that I kept that they give out on like bat day.
Right.
I had like a Yankee bat in the closet. I knew it was there. And I'm like, I'm going to just fight and I'll go for the bat. And I counted to 3 and I said, I'm going to swipe the covers off and in one motion stand. I screamed at the top of my lungs. I went, "Ah!" I threw the covers off me. I leaped up and I'm on my bed, and nobody was there. Nobody was there, and my door was closed. And I was like, "Yo, hey babe, this."
Yeah.
And my TV was on, and I flipped the light on, and I was like, "Did they walk back out?" And I got the bat. I swung the door open, and I just screamed and ran inside. My door was locked. My lights were off. Nobody was in my house. Nobody. So what I did was I went into the living room, turned every light on, and stayed up for the entire night after that.
Of course.
Because I was like, if this is a ghost, it was a ghost, I guess. I don't believe in ghosts, but I don't know what it was. Spirit, I don't know. I put it this way. I don't know what it was, but that happened to me.
That's intense.
You want to go? I have a story. Well, I'm gonna have to tell another story, but you go first.
No, that's to me just anything physically touching you is friggin' scary. When I've been sleeping, I've never actually felt touched, but I have heard voices. There was this time that I woke up for school and I like snoozed my alarm. I was like, 5 more minutes, and I closed my eyes and then I just hear somebody go in my ear. Like that in my ear, and like they call me by my nickname, like not very much, people know my nickname.
Friends and family.
Yeah, friends and family. So I was like, all right. So I was like, okay, cool, fine, I'll wake up. Like maybe that's my guardian angel telling me like, wake up, bro, because you're gonna oversleep. You know what I mean? Like you don't have time for this,
Yeah.
So I just woke up and I was like, okay, whatever, But I don't think I've ever had anything actually touch me, thank God, because I think that is like a whole other.
Yeah, that's.
Or I felt like things on the bed. Like I felt like.
Yeah, I remember. So you mentioning that, I remember 2 stories. So the first one, I remember. Oh yeah, so see now I remember staying over at a friend's house. So I don't know if you remember Nick.
Boo. Yeah.
So my friend Nick, I stayed over at his house once.
Yeah.
And he mentioned his house was haunted, but it wouldn't come up a lot. Especially I wouldn't even want to remember at the, staying over. But I remember I stayed in his room and he slept, I don't know where, but that's I just remember another one. But I remember sleeping, and I think that was the first time I felt the bed kind of like shift, like someone sat in the bed. And same thing, I pretended I was awake. It woke me up, but I didn't move. I was like, okay, what the hell? So I just stayed like that. And then I think they stayed sitting there because I think I remember like being scared and being away for a while. And I was like, did I feel this shift? It's like, I know I did. I kind of even rolled a little bit. But it stayed like that. So I don't know. I guess because the ghost stayed there. And I believe it was his dad because his dad had passed away. And they said that was the ghost. It was the dad. But I don't remember after that because I remember just trying to force you to go to sleep. And I don't remember the bed unshifting. But the other story, when it comes to the bed like that, I remember I was sitting on my bed and I was on my window, and I was looking out. You know, I was smoking or whatever, like back in the days when I used to. I don't do it anymore. And
disclaimer.
And then I remember just hanging out, you know, doing my thing. And then I remember stopping, and then I remember turning around, and the window was right here. And I was just sitting, you know, kind of feeling it in. I was just like, ah. And then I felt what, you know, when like you're trying to get off the bed where you can't, so you kind of have to like push yourself up like that.
Yeah.
So I felt that. I felt that motion. And I even remember going like this, and I was like, what the fuck? The same thing, I just got scared of that. I didn't want to like freaking react.
Look out or anything.
And I was awake. It was middle of the day. Got home from school, I think, or work. And I just left it at that. I was just like, what the fuck? And then I didn't. But the last story, well, the first was supposed to be the first story. Because how he said that he was laying there, and in one motion, he just like got up. So, you know the story. It's the story where, my first, not my first, I don't remember, but it was the first time I think I saw an apparition of a little girl. And I was saying that I was sleeping at my ex's house, and the bed was against the wall, and she was on the side of the wall. So obviously my back was against the wall too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember feeling the presence of like someone standing there. But I was just like, whatever, you know, like it kind of woke me up, but it would not fully. And it was just felt weird, and I was like, whatever. And I was about to go back to sleep, and I just kept feeling closer and closer. Like I don't know if she was looking, or I don't know if she
like observing you or something.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I just felt it like close.
Ooh.
And I remember I was sleeping like this, and I had the pillow in between. So I was like, you know, like that. And I remember just opening my eyes and like in one motion, like grabbing the pillow and like jumping up and swinging the pillow at her. And like, I was like Spider-Man for a minute, you know. I was just like, and then I was standing up like this over like my ex against the wall. And I was just looking around, and no one was there. But I remember the detail. It was the typical girls in a nightgown, white, but it was like white and baby, like, it was like, I don't know, it was like faded, like blue or like baby blue. It was just like that, like lines.
Like stripes.
Yeah, black hair, long black hair. I believe she was probably Mexican, I believe. She was like light brown skin. And she was like, she looked around maybe like Izzy's age.
Like 8.
Like 8, 9, like 6.
Yeah.
Like that age, I don't know. But yeah, I remember just like, ugh.
Hell no, dude.
I know, that was like one of my other crazy like actual visual encounters. I think that's the only one I could remember.
Yeah, I've only had like one visual encounter, and that was just like crazy too.
Yeah.
All right, so my story of seeing a full apparition, it was actually when I was in 7th grade. And I remember I was at my sister's house. She lived right next to a very small cemetery.
Oh yeah.
And next to that small cemetery, there's like a larger cemetery. It's like a big ass cemetery. And those apartments were known for being haunted. because they were right next to the cemetery. And of course, that's also controversial because they're like, oh,
Do you know what the difference
cemeteries
is?
aren't haunted, huh?
What's the difference between the cemeteries? Like, why is there a big one and then there's like a small one on the side?
I never really knew. I noticed that the smaller cemetery has a lot of unmarked graves.
Oh, really?
And then there's also like a lot of like smaller graves. But then there's also been like I've seen like adult graves and
wasn't
that's
not the one that's fenced in though?
yeah, it has like a small fence. No, the bigger one is like the big ass
different.
cemetery.
Yeah.
And that one's like the But the smaller cemetery, my sister lived like in like this apartment complex right next to it. They were kind of like duplexes.
Yeah.
And so it was like nighttime, and me and my friend at the time, we were sitting on like this metal, like
Everyone knows what it is.
this metal thing, generator thing.
Yeah.
And it was like on the
put a
corner of the apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's apartment was like one building down behind us. So we were sitting on that, and we were facing towards the cemetery. And I was reading the Bible to her. I was like highly religious at the time, so I was just talking to her about God and all that stuff. So I was just facing. We were both facing towards the cemetery, and then something caught my attention. Like something made me want to look up for some reason. And I looked up, and I looked towards the cemetery, and I see the apparition of a little girl. Like she looked transparent kind of, but you could make out like she was wearing a dress, and it was a little girl. And she kept going behind a tree, peeking out, and then going behind a tombstone, peeking out, and then going behind a tree. Like she was
Like
going
in
back and
different areas?
forth. Yeah, she kept going back and forth.
Like she'll peek out and then she'll
Yeah,
go over there,
and
peek
I
out.
was kind of like, what the fuck? I was like looking, and I was like I was like, is it like eye muggles or something? I was like, what the hell was going on? And then my friend, she like was looking, like she did a double take, and she was like, what the hell? And I was like, wait, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And she's like, yeah. And then she explained to me the same thing, like it's a little girl running back and forth, like she's playing with us. And I was like, yeah, dude, I see the same thing. And we're just like frozen, like watching her. And then I guess the little girl got bored after some time because we were just standing there looking at her. I think she was trying to like play with us.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped in between the tombstone and the tree, and she just stood, and then she ran towards the fence. And then as soon as she ran towards the fence, dude, we just got up and we just booked it to my sister's.
Yeah.
And like we told like, oh my god, like my sister, my brother was there, and like we told them about what happened, and they're like, what the fuck, really? They're all like, oh shit, it's crazy, you know? And then we were fucking scared, and then my friend's dad picked us up, and then he was gonna drop me off at my house, and we were passing by the cemetery, and we were just like looking, you know, like, is she still there? And then we didn't see anything there. Oh, and an important thing I forgot to mention. So when we were at my sister's house, in her kitchen, she has a back door that you can open, and it kind of leads to like a little yard.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside that back door, if you look directly out, you can see exactly the cemetery where we were seeing that little girl spirit, right? So I was like, dude, let's see if she's still there. So then we opened the door, and I shit you not, she was still standing there. You could see her, like, she was kind of like.
Was that after or before telling your brothers and
This
sisters?
is after I told them, and then we were like, dude, let's go see if she's still there. So we ran to the door.
No one else saw her?
No, we saw that, and then I told the sis like shit, she's still there, and they're like, what? And I think they also got up to go look and stuff, and like they didn't really see anything, but we could have sworn we fucking saw it, you know. And like even to this day, like when I asked my friend, like, you know, do you remember that? She's like, yeah, dude, I remember. And she like recounts it exactly the same, you know.
Yeah.
So it was that was a pivotal thing for me, because that's the first time I ever saw like an apparition like that.
Mm-hmm.
Other times it's always been like that feeling, you know, or just things like that. But
all right, well, let's continue this then.
Want to believe in ghosts?
Yeah,
I don't, but I want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it's just exciting. It's fun.
It feels like there's limitless ghost experiences and encounters from people. Yet there's never like a ghost. Like, why wouldn't there be a ghost experience right now? It's always alone.
It's
I'm
always
sleeping at
alone.
night,
I'm
foot of my
upstate.
bed,
I got a
dark.
creepy old house
Yeah,
because the ghost, they got unfinished business.
Yeah.
But the ghosts,
have an experience?
they're procrastinating. They were procrastinating in their real life, and they're taking it out on me. Like, I don't give a f if you had unfinished business.
Yeah.
Should have finished it while you were alive, pal. You know what I mean?
Would you be like so you think ghosts? Because then there's religion. Like, where are ghosts like just spirits hovering around, and we don't believe in religion, and that's what's happening with ghosts? You understand? Like, what is a ghost? Like, will you become a ghost? And if you became a ghost,
Well, here's my issue with ghosts. They only look like that. They're only from like the Victorian era.
Yeah.
They're only from like the 1800s.
yeah, like why can't David Bowie flow through here?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
What's the favor? Like, mic drop it. Yeah, but
why not Harambe? Just
Wait, did he even say anything? No, he just said like he wants to believe in ghosts.
I
No, he didn't even say his story, huh? What the fuck? What's the
No.
point of that then?
I know what the hell. Alright, whatever. Let's continue.
Let's just
I
continue.
was
What the
living those
fuck?
feelings, right?
Yeah.
So I fell out of escrow on a house that
I
was
remember
up
this
there,
one, though.
and
Mhm.
then, we're driving. This guy's driving. It's like 2 hours on fucking, because I was working in Santa Monica, and I looked on Trulia, and there's a house, perfect fucking Los Feliz, like a perfect house. Like you go, oh my god. Call this lady. I said, hey, Brooke, can you get me in there? She calls. She goes, tomorrow we're in there at 1 o'clock. I said, there's nothing earlier? No. She goes, George, they have it like every 15 minutes with a 15-minute break. Like, everybody wants this house. So I said, oh, fuck, then why even go? She goes, hey, you just go look. So I go in there, beautiful pool, things in there. Then you go upstairs, come down. The guy goes, what do you think? And I said, Don, it's great. And he goes, you want it? And I said, what do you mean, do I want it? Like, what about all these fucking... He goes, hey, I'll call the guys. That owner, call the owner. He's a doctor. He goes, he's a huge fan of yours. So I said, hey, guess who's in your house? And he said, oh, fucking George. He goes, hey, tell him if he gives him the full price, he can have it. And there's like 50 fucking offers.
Wow.
So I paid the full price and I got it. And then, you do some work to it. And in the fireplace, so my name is George because I was born on April 23rd, and at the General Hospital over there, my mom wanted to name me Anastasio, who they thought my father was, and my grandmother's like, fuck him. You're not naming that motherfucker somebody that disappeared. So my grandmother goes, what's today? Tells the nurse, what's today? April 20, what's that day? It's St. George Day. So she goes, George, Edward, St. George. And I told the dude that the contractor, I said, hey man, can you fucking clean those fireplaces out? Because they look like they haven't been cleaned in forever. And when he calls me back, he goes, hey, when you get home, look in the fireplace because there's a conquistador tile in there. And it's a tile of St. George. Whoa. From the 1920s. So you almost feel like it's not St. Christopher. It's not, the Virgen de Guadalupe. It's a fucking St. George tile from the 20s. So I made the mistake of calling people, especially one who had just recently passed. And that's when a lot of the activity came, a lot of the banging and a lot of the orbs and a lot of the bullshit. But then it was in the hallway. I'll show you a fucking video. There's a fucking person in the reflection of a picture that's moving in the thing.
Oh my god.
But I took a picture, like I felt, you can see kind of a shadow. I'm gonna show it to you, but you can see the shadow.
Okay.
So when I'm in bed now, all of a sudden there's more things happening. More, like you're like, fucking God, I feel like fucking somebody's over there. So now it started to happen on the right side of where the bathroom's over there, and I would go like this, and I'm like, so I took a video of that right side of my bedroom, and I didn't see any orbs or anything, but in the picture, not a mirror, in the picture I see this square, and I go, what the fuck is that? And then I pull it open, and it's a fucking green face. Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's a green face.
Green face. And I said, fuck this. I said, I hired this lady to come and fucking take him out, and she did.
How was she?
Would you say take out the green guy?
She no, they know fucking yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Wait, is
No,
it-
hey, the green guy's gone. The fucking dude hanging out in the mist is gone.
Yeah.
There was some crazy.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Now, did we do the cleansing in the hippie way or the Catholic way?
I think
No, I think they did it the hippie way.
With the sage, because that
Yeah.
shit don't work. You
Well,
gotta fucking.
They're on their way. I'm sure they're on their way back.
Babe.
But no. Listen, I know they're on their way back. But
babe.
But when you see that, you're like, I don't give a fuck.
Nah, I believe in sage. The power of sage is pretty strong.
Hey, I mean, it's a temporary, it's a bandage. But
Yeah,
it
and then
helps
also
with the vibe,
it also
too.
depends on the spirit you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Of course, like something intense, demonic, you know.
Yeah.
I just see her little paws.
You just slowly.
But yeah, it depends. All crusty, Sony. It depends on the kind of spirit you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to bring out the big guns, like freaking holy water and the priest and everything. But
Yeah, I don't know. That's
I
crazy.
don't know.
No, I felt like, well, I don't think I've ever had a, like, sage type thing. You know, I learned about it and use it now. Just to cleanse the vibe sometimes, you know. But you've had a cleansing story. The Native American one.
Yeah.
Uh,
So the house my mom's living at now, there's been a lot
Same
of
house
like
for like ever.
I know I've lived in this house since I was like freaking 6 years old, I think. And I'm almost 30 now, so that gives context that my mom still lives in that house now. But anyways, so there's been a lot of comings and goings of spirits that have came and went in this house, and thanks to the power of sage and prayer and all that stuff, that's why a lot of stuff has been cleansed out. But so there was this time that my mom, she just kept feeling like there was something off. She kept feeling that there was she just had this feeling that there was something that was put on her, like
a
witchcraft, you know, a curse, like some bad juju has been put on her.
Return the slab, or suffer my curse.
She kept feeling that, and she was working at the prison at the time, and there was this Native American.
Aho, young warrior.
That was in prison there. His name was Chi. You know,
Yeah.
if I could, just Chi. And my mom was talking to him about it. She was like, "Yeah, I've been experiencing this and that, blah blah blah, right?" And then he was like, "Well, I can tell you that there has been something put on you. That somebody has put a curse on you." He's like, "But I'm going to," because at the prison they have huts for Native Americans to pray in.
Yeah.
And he said, "Okay, so at 8 p.m. tonight, I'm going to start doing a prayer for you. And it's going to be a very intense prayer, and it's going to be a prayer to cleanse out this curse that's been put on you. So you're going to start hearing things, you're going to start experiencing things." He's like, "But don't be frightened. That's just the prayer doing its work, right?" And so my mom was like, "Okay, cool, you know." So me and my brother, we're the youngest ones. My older siblings, they were not living there at the time. So it was just me and my younger brother that was there. And I don't remember. I think I blocked it out. And also my memory is kind of like a little wonky. I don't remember stuff past a certain age. But I'm recounting from what my brother said and my mom said. So when 8 p.m. hit, my mom says that she remembers her lights going on and off, the lights in her car, because she has outside of her bedroom window there's a parking garage, and her car was in there, and she remembers seeing her lights going on and off in the parking garage.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Okay, it's starting to happen." And so my brother Omar remembers hearing like cats yelling, like yowling outside, like meowing and stuff. And the thing that she told my mom, like, don't look outside. But my brother decided to not listen, so he peeked outside, and he remembers seeing a bunch of cats lined up against the wall. And they were just like staring towards the house, and they were lined up against the wall. And so Omar freaked out, and then he just told me that I was crying the whole time. I was just bawling, crying because I was freaking out. And then I do remember little bits and pieces. I do remember my mom just trying to calm me down, and then my brother Omar trying to calm me down. And then they heard cackling of a witch outside, like she was laughing like a witch, like hey, I can't mimic it. Insert witch laugh here. They heard like a cackling of a witch outside, and so like they were just hearing all this stuff happening all around them, and then finally it stopped. Then after that, my mom didn't have anything, anything.
It was clean.
Yeah, it was cleansed.
Yeah.
So technically, she didn't really do like a sage prayer there at the house. I don't think she did, but she was doing an intense prayer at the prison, and I'm pretty sure he was using sage and stuff.
It's crazy to find out later on
Native
that
American thing.
That you guys are pretty much Native American too.
Yeah, and so that was a big thing too, because my mom, she was always drawn to Native American culture. She has like these Native American like statue heads that have been there forever too.
Yeah.
And like she's had those forever, and then she has like a little Native American doll and stuff. Like she's always been super attracted to Native American culture.
The jewelry too.
The jewelry, she loves turquoise, like she loves all that, right? And then my mom finds out, you know, she got her ancestry done, and she finds out that she's like
64,
65% Native American.
Yeah.
We don't know what tribe, sadly, and we probably never will know. We kind of have some ideas, but we kind of feel that maybe had a lot to do with like why the prayer were so strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, that was an intense thing. Sadly, I don't remember it directly in my brain, but I just remember from recounts of like what Omar said.
And they told the story for years over and over.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this. I think this is the last one.
So in these dreams, I know that there is a actual ghost in the room. Shane called it sleep paralysis, but
Okay.
it'll hold me down. And at times, I've had these dreams where a ghost will hold me down and have sex with me. Wait, what is that? That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Why sleep paralysis makes you ghost. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There it is.
I've had it where it holds you down and then it fucks you.
And then it's sex.
And then my first nocturnal emission, I was being held down by a ghost, and it fucked me. Beautiful older woman. I was younger. Older woman, dark hair, kind of looked like Elvira, like big breasts. Got on top of me. I was in my bed. She pressed my arms down to my side, and then got on top of me. And I had a wet dream. I was probably 15 years old. And then she got up, and I woke up, and I was like, I just got raped by a ghost.
Yeah.
I got raped from ghost. And I was like, and I want that happening every single night. Every night. I would allow the ghost adventurers to set it up.
Yeah.
I would go, if you had a haunted hotel with just haunted by whores, and then you could just fuck ghosts every night, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Does the ghost like dirty talk to you or anything?
Nope, it's silent. The way it should.
Yeah.
The way it
No
should.
one, no one says a word. She just comes in,
fucks
me, and leaves.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Sorry guys, this is gonna be a very long video. We're basic because we're adding our own personal stories too. But, so it's a little treat for you guys, I guess. But this does remind me that the famous hotel, the Gadsden Hotel, from where we're from. There was a popular haunting there that would happen frequently, and it was purposely targeted. Not purposely. It was
just targeted.
It was targeted towards females. I forgot what the room number was, but supposedly there was a male ghost there that would come onto women, right? Like they would like not come. Well,
Yeah.
I used the wrong word, but yeah, he would basically like get on top of women and stuff and like start touching them and whatnot. You know, like freaking molest women and shit. And so that is a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
That's crazy. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think that would just be weird.
To me, stuff like that, like
That'll be
succubus,
confusing, yeah.
incubuses, and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if that would be considered a succubus or incubus.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like
Because I think the succubus or the incubus is like that's what they do, only, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're
I don't know the
basically like a
lore.
female like
Well, both of
demon
them,
that
you know,
kind
like,
of.
'cause that's what they're. I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, because the succubus is the female, and then the male is the incubus.
The ones you said that they're
in
ugly.
and then suck. Huh?
The ones you said that are ugly.
No.
Let's talk
Alright, well,
about how you made a ghost try to kill himself for a second time.
By the way, I think DeRose would be the perfect candidate for future Ghost.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, you in ghost form, everlasting, just like complaints, complaints.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Wait a minute. Is that a sitcom? It might be a sitcom.
When Joe's a ghost, he's not boo. He's boo. He says it differently. Listen, it's the ghost of DeRosa. Boo! Boo!
Wait a minute, I'm telling you, hold on, this is a sitcom. And the tagline of the poster is Boo.
Boo the
Boo
ghost.
has several meanings. Joe the ghost. Boo has several meanings. Coming to FXX. Fall 19 or 2000.
You would haunt it like an Italian restaurant.
Mommy, there's a ghost in my room scaring
I don't
me.
think this is even a ghost story.
Nah.
I started crying and it told me to shut up. It told me to grow up.
Why is the whiskey bottle always? Are you drinking in the house? No, I swear it
Yeah,
wasn't me.
they're just joking about it.
At Joke World.
All right, so that was the scariest ghost stories told by comedians. Some of them weren't even stories. There were like 2 that were just not even stories, but
That's fine.
yeah, but
Well,
I mean,
we got to tell some of ours, so.
yeah, to kind of, I guess. But yeah,
Start it
that
off.
yeah. So you guys at least got some of our stories.
Glimpse.
Yeah, we didn't really rate any of them, but I mean, the ones that were scary stories, I rate those 5, and I think they're real.
Yeah.
Genuinely, they were really terrifying stories. But yeah, some more stories to come, and feel free to comment, and hopefully you guys are enjoying what you guys are seeing so far. And then yeah, like and subscribe, please.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
All right, guys. See you next time.
All right, bye.